What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. What we're doing is we're actually doing a series, a video series on the biggest questions we've seen coming out of the stimulus bill, unemployment benefits, how to just get more money during these times. Basically anything along these topics. We did like a really quick three-part series. I think it was like a total of 9 questions, and it seemed like that was one of the more helpful things that we've offered in a while from what we got on a response from it. So we wanted to do an even more extended one. We have like over 20 questions that I'm going to break down into a series, and this has been the 20 biggest questions that you guys have written in, commented, texted, emailed, all that stuff. So more than anything, we just want to get you guys taken care of. Obviously, like, no one's driving right now, and so these are pretty much the only relevant topics. So let's jump right in. So the first question, and the biggest thing we see, is can Uber and Lyft drivers file for unemployment? Yes, 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 a million times. You can and you should. Here's how you do that, just real quick. You go to your state's website, or just Google your state, and then Google unemployment benefits, unemployment insurance, anything along with that, and it should take you to your state website, a .gov site, where you can file for it. It took me a while to actually find it on my state's site, but eventually I found it, and it was an application process, probably took me 20 minutes. A lot of states haven't opened this up yet, so don't get worried if you don't see it. There's a good chance your state doesn't even have it. Do some more Googling and researching if that's the case, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. But the main thing is, yes, you guys can file. Why can you file for unemployment? A lot of you are probably thinking, I could totally work right now, though. I feel fine. Here's what this basically this new bill says. It's essentially, if you're saying you can't work due to risk of getting sick or risk of getting someone else sick or your family sick because of being in the workforce, guess what? You're included. So that's awesome news, because that's almost any Uber driver, because you can't really go out right now and work. You know, you can't really go out and do a bunch of rides in a week without the risk of getting. So that being said, you should indefinitely apply. There's, like I said, just no reason why you don't do it if you pretty much are guaranteed to get it. It makes way more sense than actually going out and driving right now, because there's no money to be made and there's a lot of risk that comes with it. All right, so let's move on. How much will Uber and Lyft drivers get in unemployment? So from what I've seen, there's $600 a week, and then there would be a weekly stipend along with that. So the $600 a week is incredible, because I don't know how many of you are actually making $600 a week driving Uber and Lyft. I feel like it's actually a very small percentile, because not that many people are like full-time grinding. So yeah, $600 a week, which is incredible money for what we do. And then a stipend along with that. So I mean, you're talking $600 plus a week. I've also heard there might be some kind of temporary health insurance things. I don't know the validity of that. That's just something that was chirped to me. So we'll see if that pans out. But that's good money. So yes. Alrighty, the next question is, what is PUA, or what is the CARES Act? So the CARES Act was mainly rolled out for small businesses, and it was basically to make sure small businesses were taken care of during these times. It does and doesn't apply to us, because it's mainly having to do with, they're giving out small business loans to business owners who can manage to retain working employees and paying working employees while this is going on. So hypothetically, if you've got a way where you can keep people working, I'll give you guys a good example of it. I know a guy who has his own lawn cutting business. While all his residential clients were cut, a lot of big city projects and big city clients that he had still needed to keep going. So he got cleared to cut X amount of city lawns, and when I say city lawns, like he was doing like big city companies, big city courthouses, places like that where they feel it's important to retain a good appearance. So he's actually got a lot of these clients for his lawn care business that he still gets to keep during these times, and they want him to still do it. So what they're offering is, because obviously he's not getting as much money right now, so for someone like him, they're actually offering essentially interest-free refundable loans, from what I understand. Actually, it looks like it says here, a refundable credit of up to 50% of qualified wages for 10 grand an employee. That's like the biggest part of it, from what I understand, is the small business loans. And then there's a whole comprehensive coverage and stuff like that. I don't want to, like I said, not a lot of that information really correlates with you. I would just say if that's something you think would apply to you or interests you, if you have a small business outside of Uber and Lyft, because I don't like, kind of drives me crazy when people are like, oh, I own my own business, I'm an Uber driver. I'm like, no, the frick you're not. You're an independent contractor. I get technically you can say that, but you sound foolish. If you have a real small business, you should definitely look into this. And then pandemic unemployment assistance is... that's what does affect us. That's basically what your unemployment insurance is and all that, So that does affect you. But yeah, basically, I mean, they get 8 weeks of covered costs forgiven. I mean, that's including payroll, interest payments, payments on a lease even. And it's got some really good stuff. So if you know a business owner, you are a small business owner, like you definitely need to have them look into the CARES Act. The PUA, that's nothing really, like you've heard the most about that. You probably just didn't know it was called that. But that's the part that really kind of affects all of us. So yeah, the CARES Act isn't that relevant, but it is something that I think because we're independent contractors, everybody's been looking at and trying to figure out. I wouldn't really put too much sweat into that. So I do want to start wrapping up this video though. So let's highlight some of the most important things to know. So the very first thing is to get the unemployment benefits. Like I said earlier, you need to go to your state website. You need to Google your state. I'm sorry, I keep saying go to the state website. Google your state along with something like unemployment insurance benefits. It's going to take you exactly where you need to be. And then there's an application process. It's really not that long. I feel like under an hour, under 30 minutes, and you'll have it taken care of. Just make sure you hunt around and answer everything truthfully. You don't want it to somehow bite you in the butt later on. The stimulus check, that one's, I feel like everyone understands. All you have to do to get the stimulus check is file your taxes. That is the one I'm sure you've seen memes and everything about. It's about $1,200 if you make less than $75,000 a year. There's no reason to not get that money. Do your taxes and you'll get that money. The other thing I wanted to cover real quick, this came to my attention very recently, but I know most of us had heard that Uber and Lyft wasn't really offering sick pay. That was the furthest thing from the truth, actually. They're actually offering pretty great sick pay. I think they just don't want us to know because it's that good and it's that easy to get it. So basically, all you have to do is get a 2-sentence letter from your doctor saying that you should be self-isolating and not working. There's a lot of ways to do this. If you've felt anything close to a symptom in the last 3 months, that's your reason. And so if you consulted a doctor and you said, hey doc, I'm an Uber driver, I'm a Lyft driver. About 2 months ago, I had a sore throat and I was sleeping a lot. Do you think I should self-isolate? Guess what? They're going to tell you yes. Yes, you should, because you probably had it and just didn't realize it. And you could be giving all those passengers that if you keep driving. So what I'm saying is any doctor is going to do this. And it's really awesome because now you can get sick pay, you can get a stimulus check, and you could get unemployment insurance. That should be plenty to help you get through this time. I haven't personally done the sick pay thing. I was going to be very well taken care of if I get the unemployment insurance, so I didn't feel like I needed to do the sick pay. But everyone else, I think, should. There's just no reason why you shouldn't. Because you are putting yourself at risk picking up all those people. And this is another scenario where this is the time where we needed Uber and Lyft to treat us like employees, and they kind of did, kind of didn't. So if I were you guys, I would be milking every cent out of them. I 100% would, because they've always dodged us and been shoddy towards us. So there's no reason why we shouldn't, take some extra money from them. It's probably owed anyways. I'm going to wrap up the video here. This is part 1 of the question series. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon.